announced his resignation as the Prime Minister in an emotional speech on Downing Street on Monday morning. It came just days after the anti-Barham's decisive victory in the Marcoquille by-election, and despite the claim as late on Friday that he would fight on despite the mounting calls for him to go from MPs and cabinet ministers. But after a weekend weighing up his options with the wife, Lady Victoria, the political reality became clear. He had lost the backing of too many MPs, at least 100, and much of his cabinet with Foreign Secretary Yeti Cooper, reportedly the latest to tell him he to. And after listing his achievements, including taking Labour from one of his worst election defeats to a landslide victory just 2 years ago, the question my party is asking now is whether I am best placed to lead us into the next general election. I have heard the answer of my parliamentary party to that question, and I accept that answer with good grace, he said. So that is why I will resign as a leader of the Labour Party, he said. Fighting back tears and with his voice on the brink of cracking, he added, when I leave the biggest job in the country, I shall spend more time on the most important job, being the best husband I can to my fantastic wife, Victoria, and being the best dad I can to my beautiful children. So guys, the Prime Minister will remain in a post while the leadership contests is arranged and fought, with the successor of his in place before Parliament returns after its summer recess. The expectation is that former Greater Manchester Mayor Burnham, who sparked Starmer's endgame with his convincing plea in Thursday's Marcoquille by-election, will become the next Prime Minister. If he is unopposed and be in the poll by mid-July, but it was not just Burnham's victory that led to departure. Pressure has been building for months. Coming to a head with Peter Mendelssohn scandal, May's terrible local election results and the resignations of Health Secretary West Stephen and Defence Secretary John Key. Burnham is expected to travel to London on Monday to be sworn as an MP. The next Prime Minister will be the seventh since David Cameron could follow the Brexit referendum almost exactly 10 years ago. Now, the Prime Minister's decision to resign came after he was told by senior members of the cabinet, including the Foreign Secretary, Energy Secretary Steve Leeman, Home Secretary Shavana Mahmood, and Transport Secretary Lily Alexander, who set out a timetable for his departure. It came less than 2 years after he won a landslide general election. Even then, however, it was dubbed as soft landslide by the pollsters due to the heavy majorities of many MPs. Nigel Farage's Reform UK has been ahead in the polls for more than a year now. May's local election results, which saw Reform take hundreds of council seats and Labour lose Wales for the first time, he had convinced many Labour MPs that Starmer was not the man to stop Farage. Now Burnham's handsome victory in Marcoquille, an area where Labour lost heavily to Reform in May, and gave the former Greater Manchester Mayor a seal of approval. Keir Starmer's resignation speech. So he said, thank you. Thank you, with walking up this street 2 years ago was the proudest moment of my life. A new Labour government, the first in 14 years. A page in our country's history turned after years of disappointment and despair. It was a chance to change the lives of millions of people for the better. But always the people are forced to quit, and the journey to that point was not easy to take. 6 years ago, I inherited a Labour Party that was politically, financially and morally bankrupt. I was told this time and time again that my party was failing, that they are consigned to a history, and that a majority at that general election, let alone a landslide majority, was impossible. But guys, we proved those the people wrong because we change our party, ripping out the poison of anti-Semitism, restoring trust of the economy, defense and national security, and becoming a party that once again should proudly sit against our national flag. The hard work of change was with the singular purpose, not power for power's sake, but to change Britain for the better, to build a fairer country with dignity and respect where everyone is seen, everyone is valued, wealth and opportunity for all, not just the privileged few. And so guys, look at what we have achieved in just 2 years. An economy that is stronger, growing faster than our peers, wages rising faster, and inflation almost zero. In a single month, we came to power. Also, the investment secured infrastructure being built and end to austerity, the fastest falling NHS waiting list for 17 years. The biggest improvement in the rights for workers and the renters in a generation. The biggest uplift in defense spending since the Cold War. Small boat crossings falling, asylum hotels closing, protecting young people from social media, half a million children being lifted out of poverty because of the choices that we made. And we also continue that our reputation in the world will show we can once again standing up for decency, respect and the rule of law. Securing trade deals, standing up with Ukraine, standing up for our values and rebuilding our relationship with our allies in Europe. Being promised by a Labour government, being fought by a Labour government, being delivered by a Labour government. That all was implemented and achieved in the Keir Starmer scandal. But I know guys, the question being asked now is not who was the best way to change the Labour Party, but to take us in the power and being the vital work of improving life for millions of people. Those questions have been answered now. The question my party is asking now is whether I am the best way to lead us to the next general election. He said, I have heard the answer of my parliamentary party to that question and expect that answer to good reviews. Every decision I have taken was putting the country at low first. That is why I will resign today as the leader of the Labour Party. I was taken to my majesty to change this morning to inform me of the decision. I will ask the National Executive Committee of the Labour Party to set out a timetable with the nomination opening on 9th July and complete at the summer recess. In case of contest, he said, ensure a new leader in place before Parliament returns in September. He said, I will remain in post until the Prime Minister contest is complete. And I will do everything I can to ensure an orderly handover of power. I will also give successor my full and unequivocal support, knowing that they will inherit a Britain that is far stronger and fairer than the one I inherited 2 years ago. And better prepared for the challenges ahead and better able to ensure the Labour Party secures a second term now. So guys, we continue. Like, I want to thank all of those friends and colleagues who have been at my side for those past 6 years also for their incredible commitment, service and support. And I want to thank for the brilliant number 10 staff in our country, extraordinary civil service who dedicate their lives to public service. And when I leave the biggest job in the country, I shall spend more time, the most important job, he said, with his family, being an husband and being a rock by my side through tough times and bad, and being the best that I can to my beautiful children, who are my pride and my joy. Thank you so much. So guys, that was the major heading story. So Keir Starmer has now just resigned, and who will be the next president? Let's see in our upcoming video. So thank you so much for joining guys. If you have any doubts, comment or feedback, let me know in the comment section. I would love to hear and respond back. And if you are new to this channel, kindly subscribe and give us motivation to create such amazing content. Thank you so much for watching guys. I will see you guys in the next video.